Welcome everyone to our Stride presentation today. I want to go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Heather Trudeau. I am an agent coordinator here with Stride. That means I get to work with agents such as yourselves. I also get to work with our management very closely, and I get to work with our support team. So you will all get very familiar with hearing from me. I also have with me our Jason Ciccarelli, one of our partners here at Stride. Jason, can you hear me okay? Welcome.
I can, Heather. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Welcome to our Stride presentation.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And welcome to each and every one of you listening to this recording as we're preparing this presentation for you for very, very specific purposes. We're glad to have you listening to us today and look forward to the opportunity to work with each and every one of you. Heather, let's jump right into our presentation and take a look at our opening slide. So guys, as we work with you, as we've been working with your peers now for just over 16 years, what we do is we facilitate the goals and aspirations of advisors throughout the financial services space and beyond. Understanding the goals and aspirations of advisors, as we do, we have built a program, a proprietary program at that has been the most effective tool at opening doors and building relationships with the best clients in the industry for many, many years. And that's what we're going to talk to you guys about today. If we look at the goals, aspirations, desires, and needs of every advisor out there in the space, what we see is that, number one, you guys need, desire, have the goal to get in front of more prospects. Of course, if you're not in front of prospects, you're not going to be successful. So you guys have spent a great deal of time pursuing opportunities, different marketing campaigns, different markets, and so on and so forth, in an effort to get in front of more prospects. And the reason you're listening to me today is because overwhelmingly those different approaches haven't worked all that well, or at least they haven't reached your desired level of success, so they haven't allowed you to reach that desired level of success. So again, that's why we're here today. That's why you're here. It's not enough, of course, just to get in front of those prospects. We have to close them. So we have to be able to give you guys tools, concepts, and platforms and programs that put you in that unique position to have the people you're working with say yes far more often than they say no. And I'm going to share statistics with you guys as we work our way through the call to show you just how effective our program is. And then finally, with parts 1 and 2, by getting in front of more prospects and closing more deals, you all desire, you all have the goal of making more money. Just like every business owner in America, that's why you're here today, because you have that desire that they all have. And again, that desire is to make more money, to reach the potential that you know you have. So let's talk about how we're going to help you guys do that, how we've been helping your peers do that, again, for over a decade and a half. Heather, let's go to our next slide, and let's take a look at the opportunity, what it looks like to partner with Stride. When we talk about partnering with Stride, we're talking about being in a position to sell more than ever before. I know that's a hokey little catchphrase, but guys, it's the truth. And I want you to understand it's not the truth because I say it is. I've been running around for a long time running my mouth about how great our programs are, but I rely not just on myself, my staff, and my partners to back me up. I rely on you guys. In fact, if you've been around with us for the last 10 plus years, it's 10 years we've been running these webinars every Friday, what we call our mastermind webinars, or as you come to work with us this week and next week and so on and so forth, you're going to see for yourselves on our Friday calls. And again, we've been doing these Friday calls for just over a decade. And it's on these Friday calls that I get to rely on you guys to validate these bold claims that I make, these incredible success stories. Every single week for over a decade, I bring on your peers, new advisors every single week, never the same person twice. Over 432 advisors last year. We're on track to triple that this year. And it's guys and gals from the field just like you that are going to come on and talk about their backgrounds. They're going to talk about how they met Stride and the life-changing experiences they've had since coming to work with us. You guys will note that I keep putting emphasis on the word with. You don't work for us. We work for you. We become your back office and opening doors that have never been opened to you guys before. We're going to do that with you. And so when we look at the idea and then the reality of selling more than ever before, we see that there's 3 core components to making that a possibility. One, we need to get in front of the best clients. And you guys have heard a lot of noise about who the best clients are, right? You've chased around from concept to concept, whether it's the senior market, and oh my God, has a lot of noise been made about the senior market and how much wealth is in that market. Or maybe you've tried college planning. What about veterans benefits? Have you heard about that one? MedSup? Any of the various programs that are out there that that revolve through the cycle again and again and again, at least they have over the last decade, as far as the go-to idea that's going to be the breakout opportunity for your career. And as you chase these things around and you experience the process of reinventing yourself and all the downtime associated with that and all the risk associated with it, and then you chase that market only to find that it's really just the same thing. You're still just getting in front of that general market. Whether you call it senior planning, whether you call it college planning, whatever you call it, it's still just the general market, and it's still loaded with folks that don't necessarily have the money you want to work with. It's a saturated market. You're dealing with too many competitors, and it's just too tough. So we're going to get you in front of the best clients, and I mean the best clients. We're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. An enthusiastic welcome. Guys, when was the last time somebody couldn't wait for you to show up? When was the last time you pulled out a business card and not only did the person you were handed to grab it out of your hand with a smile, but everybody around them showed up to hear what it was you were talking about? You guys know what it's like. People grudgingly take appointments with us in the financial services space. They grudgingly talk to us about insurance and annuities. It's not an enthusiastic welcome. It's anything but. But again, you guys are going to get on our Friday calls. You're going to hear from your peers. And then after a couple of weeks of knowing us, you're going to be telling a story about how people are begging for the opportunity to talk to you. And I know that sounds like salesmanship. Guys, again, don't trust me. Join us on the Friday calls and hear your peers talking about it. And then we're going to talk about getting faith through validation, which is very, very different from anything you've had the opportunity to experience before. And I'm not going to go into that now. I'll go into it when I get to that slide. Heather, let's talk about the best clients. Who are the best clients, and how do we get in front of them? Well, you guys get to look down the arrow point. Usually we do a gradual feed, but we're trying to consolidate this call into 30 minutes. So we're flying through it now. You get to look down to that arrow and see where I'm going with this. This is the business owner community. So why is the business owner community, why are they the best clients? Well, they're the best clients because they're the ones that actually control America's wealth. That's the money bullet point. And again, you heard me jokingly tease about the idea of the senior market. Now, everybody's told you for over a decade that this is the market that controls America's wealth. But you know different, don't you? Really, when you think about it, you've paid for the mailers, you've paid for the email blasts, you've paid for the dinner seminars, you've done all of that, haven't you? And you've chased around and around, and you've filtered through, with the email blasts and the mailers, you filter through thousands to get maybe a dozen or 2 dozen people that want to talk to you. Either they've responded in some way, shape, or form, or they've attended a dinner seminar. And out of them, you narrow it down further, and there might be 1 or 2 that really have the kind of money that you want to work with, folks that have $250,000 or $500,000 or $1 million in assets, whatever threshold you've established for yourself. In other words, what I'm saying is the people in the senior market that have money are like needles in a haystack. And when you find enough of those needles, you're able to draw certain conclusions. You can see patterns. And the patterns you're going to find is that the individuals in the senior market that actually have money, well, for the most part, yes, there's an occasional teacher in there that really did a good job of storing up a nest egg, or there's a federal employee in there, kind of same thing. But overwhelmingly, those seniors that have money, they were business owners or executives. So instead of waiting for them all to become seniors and trying to then find that needle in the haystack, let's just go play in a pile of needles. Let's just deal with business owners. We'll deal with the folks that have the money. Because all business owners, all successful business owners, have money. They have money, and they process money every single day. Decision. Let's talk about decisions. You guys know this. How many times have you, in pursuing the generalist market, and again, we can narrow it and say senior market or MedSup or veterans benefits or college funding, but guys, it's still just the general market. It's whoever will work with us. That's the general market. How many times have you gone and spoken to somebody? 3 times? 5 times, God forbid 10 or even 15 times before ultimately they made the decision to stay where they were at, or to work with one of the other 5 people that have also each had 5 or 10 or 15 conversations with them. Business owners don't have time for that. They don't have time, and the nice thing is because they don't have time for that, they don't waste your time. They make a decision on the spot. In fact, all day, every day, they make decisions on the spot, and then they live with them. These are the greatest people to work with. They have America's wealth, and they make the decision when they talk to you, not 10 conversations later. So you have more efficient use of your time. Get into no competition. This is really my favorite part. I'm going to talk to you about how our systems and our platforms and our programs are such that we have no competition, and that makes you, so it puts you in a position such that you don't have any competition. But beyond that, let's just look at this general market. Guys, the generalist market out there, again, the seniors and everybody for retirement planning and all that stuff, do you know that you're competing against 1.2 million of your peers? 1.2 million of you out there every day pounding away in this market. Not to mention that 95% of us in financial services completely recycle ourselves every 5 years. What that means is within 5 years, 95% of the people calling themselves insurance agents today will be out of this business, and it'll be repopulated by new people. So that means in any 5-year cycle, you're dealing with a couple million competitors, those that are here today, those that will leave, and those that will replace them. It is the most saturated space in existence. It's horrible. The worst part is that by virtue of the internet and software and all the things that have been created, guys, as you're marching around with your brochures and your portfolio and in your folder and your binder, whatever the case may be, and you're handing all that out, and you're advertising for X company and Y company, I'm not going to name anybody here and have them get mad at me, but you know what I mean. What happens? Well, the people jump on the internet today, and they take a look at the company, and when they jump on the internet, look at the company, they see that they can buy the product right from the company. You don't even have to deal with a salesperson. And how many studies have been done in America to show more and more people don't want to deal with a salesperson? So not only are you competing with millions of your peers in an overly saturated market, now the very people you're selling for are coming in behind you and selling direct to the client and cutting you off completely. I'm going to talk about how we fix that in the coming slides. But right now, let's talk about no competition. Talked about a saturated market. The generalist market is highly saturated. The business owner market, little to no saturation. Now, the reason for this is that they're the hardest people in the world to get in front of. Again, I'm going to show you how we make that a possibility. But the business market, if you look at the studies that have been done, Securian, Principal, Guardian, New York Life, the companies out there that want to focus on this space, and the studies that they've done, their studies show, and there's a little bit of wiggle room between the stats that they all came up with, but the average says 82% of businesses do not have a financial planner or an insurance agent. So then my question is, do you guys want to go and beat your head against the wall, chasing the senior market or the retirement planning market, whatever market, talking to clients that already have, and virtually 100% of them have an agent or representation of some sort, who are also simultaneously being talked to by 5, 10, 15, 20 of your peers and solicited by a million? Do you want to beat yourself to death in that space, or do you want to go deal with the clients that actually have the money, the clients that make decisions on the spot, and the clients that don't have any representation because nobody other than you can get through to them? Of course you want to be in this space. So let's keep going, and let's show you how we make it a reality. Heather, let's go to the next slide, please. I talked before about an enthusiastic welcome. Why do we get an enthusiastic welcome when nobody else is able to get through the door to talk to business owners? One, just like the slide says, because what we bring them is applicable to all of them. Guys, I'm not going to say every one of you listening to me right now does what I'm about to describe, but I will tell you most of you do. And while you guys have hundreds of life insurance products to use, and over 100 and probably, depending on who you're working with, probably over 150 carriers to work with, and hundreds of products to use, and hundreds of annuities to choose from, the average insurance agent, most insurance agents, pick one or two of their favorite carriers, one or two of their favorite products, and they try to sell it to everybody. And the statistics demonstrate that what happens is, what you're doing is you're bringing stuff that is overwhelmingly not even applicable to the bulk of that population, and you're going through the added hurdle of trying to convince them to buy or convince them that they want to have, as bad as you want to sell them, this product that really isn't even that applicable. Well, what we do, guys, is 100% applicable. Let me describe it. At least this component, the tip of the spear. This is how we get you through the door when nobody else can get through the door. Called cost remediation. We invented it. But we created this market. We created this business model a long time ago. Cost remediation, the formal definition, the fancy definition, is the process through which we seek to reduce, refine, or recapture operational costs and or engage in tax mitigation. The simple way to say it, guys, is that we make these businesses more profitable. We're to come through at no out-of-pocket cost to them without causing any disruption, without changing any of their vendors. We're to come through and analyze their business. We're going to reduce costs. We're going to provide tax mitigation. We're going to make them more profitable. I will tell you right now, out of the 28 million privately held businesses in this country, yes, 28 million, and that does not count Fortune 5s, anything else. These are privately held businesses like the business you own, the businesses I own. It's us. 28 million of us. Every single one of them spend every waking moment, where they're not running their business, every waking moment trying to find ways to make their business more profitable. They do. Think about it. Any one of them that you know, what do? Every book they read, every seminar they attend, every person they hire, every consultation they pay for, all of it is geared toward making themselves more profitable. So not only is it 100% applicable, but look at the next bullet point. They're already looking for you. When you work with Stride, the tools, the systems, the products that you bring to market are the very things that they're actually looking for. And yes, when you give somebody what they're after, you get an enthusiastic welcome. When you try to jam something down their throat, you try to force a sale on them that they're not after, they run from you, and you've had a whole career of seeing just that. Instead, of course you want to work with people that want to work with you. Of course it's far easier to raise your hand in a sea of people, in a sea of bodies, when these business owners are running around looking for help, and you're the only hand to go up. That's a great position to be in. No risk. We do everything we do on contingency. That means not only does what you're bringing apply to everybody, not only are they all already looking for it, but we do it no out-of-pocket cost. It says that right in our 1/3 of a page contract. It's the simplest thing you guys have ever seen. You're actually going to see it on this call. What that means is this. My money, my partner's money, we are going to spend our money, our time, our energy, our resources, our staff to go to work for these business owners and find these opportunities. And unless we find them, we don't get paid. They owe us nothing. We only get paid after we found the opportunity, and only as a percentage of that opportunity. And again, the last bullet point, guys, we have no competition. The business owner market space does not have financial representation, and guys, make no mistake, what we do is absolutely financial. Money management, money control, tax mitigation absolutely fits in the wheelhouse of an insurance agent and a financial planner. Because as we're doing what we do, certain of our studies consist of time value of money arguments, reinvestable asset arguments, all the stuff that fits cleanly into your wheelhouse and opens up opportunities to sell more insurance, more annuities, more financial products than ever before. And we're going to show you guys an exact example of this. So not only do you have no competition because nobody else is able to get through the door, you have no competition because nobody else does what we do and nobody does it the way we do it. It truly distinguishes you from everybody. Heather, let's go to our next slide. So let's talk about what this looks like. I'm going to hand off to Heather because her voice is a lot nicer than mine, and we're going to show you guys the proprietary software that will take you guys and make you successful day one. I talked before about having to reinvent yourself and all the different things you guys have done where you've chased concepts. Guys, no reinvention here. Keep doing what you're doing. Do it. If you work 8 hours a day, keep doing it 7 of them. We're going to show you a program that after the very first hour of training, statistically speaking, after 16 years, 62% of you after 1 hour training are going to go out and submit your very first deal to us. The rest of you, it may take a week or two before you get around to it, but that's fine too. And you're going to hear that again from your peers every single week. It's this tool and the simple training that we provide that allows you to plug and play and be successful right now. Heather, jump in if you would, please.
Thank you, Jason. As he mentioned earlier, this is our proprietary software. This is not found anywhere else in the market. This is only something that Stride has and that you will have full access to. So this is for you to present direct to a client, and there are multiple ways for you to present, and we'll kind of dive in and show you the couple of ways to do so. But to start out, we have the industries page here. And the industry page is a great lead-in to running the full survey with the client. It allows you to show them a couple of benefit snapshot items, some average information about the industry for them to utilize and to review, and understand what it is that we can do for them before we go ahead and go into a full survey. And as you can see here, there's multiple industries listed on this page. This is not all of the industries we've worked with. This is only a small sampling. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dive into the manufacturing one here as an example for you to see what's available. So as I mentioned, this is where you can share some average information with the client. So you can show them that $240,000 on average is found for manufacturers on an employer payroll tax incentive alone. Then the property owner tax incentive is another, on average, $240,000. Then you can show them that we also can do credit card processing, on average 21% savings, 18% savings property tax. Waste and recycling, on average, is 27% saved, and 15% savings on average for work comp. This is just the basic information to show them what we've been able to do for clients just like them. And then you dive in and you go into the survey. And I'm going to open up one here today. I'm going to run through an example so you can really see how to utilize this. You have the ability to run the presentation in multiple ways. You can run it in person with the client, over the phone or web with the client. That is, maybe you're doing a screen share with them, or you're simply over the phone running it without the client. That allows you to input the information. Maybe you gathered it while you were there on a cold call. Maybe you were simply stopping in and you were able to gather some information and you wanted to rerun it in the presentation here. Or a test run. It allows you to get very familiar with using the system. It allows you to run as many demos and test runs as you'd like, to be very familiar with running it and comfortable running it in front of a client. And the first page you'll see is going to have contact information. This is where you put in the contact information of the client. And this is a very important page because not only does it save the information about them so you can follow up with them later, it's also going to run the presentation based on this information. So for example, if I put president as the title of the person I'm meeting with, the system already knows that the president of the company, the CEO of the company, the way they're going to want to view this presentation and the services that are of importance to them are going to be different than, let's say, you're sitting down with a CFO. So it's going to tweak the presentation based on that. Over here, manufacturing, this is where you select your industry. This is going to also change the type of questions that come up. Manufacturing, software IT, biotech, biomed, those have the potential for R&D savings, whereas a hotel may not. So it's going to obviously change the questions that come up and make sure that it is tailored to this client. Your city, your state, the zip of this client, that's going to change which federal, which state, which local databases the system is going to run through on the spot in real time to compare information and compile the savings. So once I confirm the contact information, it goes directly into the questions. And these are very simple questions. For example, the first one is, do you own any commercial property, yes or no? What was the purchase cost? What was the total renovation cost? And as you can see, this is all editable. This is simply a comparison for you to see today, but this is something that is all in real time, on the spot. You simply type in your information. Next question, are your property taxes $30,000 or more, yes or no? Annual payroll, is it $250,000 or more? This question came up because, again, we selected manufacturer. It's looking for the potential for an R&D credit. Did you have any revenue prior to 2012? Yes or no? That's looking for startup ability. With the PATH Act, there are startup credits available. How many new employees do you hire per year? Do you take credit cards? Yes or no? What is the amount processed annually? Are they swiped or not swiped? For a business owner, this means a difference because swipes have different fees and rates applied to them than not swiped will. Is your waste and recycling over $300 per month? Yes or no? Is your work comp premium $40,000 per year? Yes or no? Are they self-insured? And then you're going to see it comes up with this estimated savings page. And it lists out each of the services we just went over with those questions. And you can see by the simple questions we just asked, we are able to look at this client and tell them we can save them an average, just over $760,000. That is their estimated savings. This is the point where that business owner is going to look at you and they're going to say, I want to find out how. I want to know what I need to do. And the presentation is going to go into that for you. It's going to give you the basic information on each of the services. You don't have to be the expert. We have the experts here in office to be on calls with you with these clients. You don't have to know all of the information. You just need to be able to present what's on this page. So for example, for property tax, we're able to save you just over $21,000 based on the fact that you told me your property tax was $130,000 annually. And what we're going to do for you is we're going to work on your behalf. We're going to capture the savings. We're going to partake in any hearings, and we're going to file any necessary paperwork. All I did there was simply read off that section. It explains what we're going to do on their behalf. It lets them know what we're going to partake in, but I don't have to have all of the information. And it puts the fee right here up front for them. And then at the bottom you can see 3 separate companies that are similar to them that we've worked with. These are our real clients, and those are the real total realized benefit down there. So they get an idea of what it is we've been able to do for other clients like them. R&D study, cost seg. Just for time purpose today, I'm going to flip through these. But you can see each of them, again, shows the estimated savings, why they qualified, the fee, and the 3 benefit snapshots. Credit card processing, work comp, waste and recycling. And then it allows me the ability to book a call. This call is going to be with the experts here in the office. And this overlaps all of the calendars of the necessary parties that need to be on this call, so that all you have to do is ask the client what time they're available. You select the time from the list, you confirm it, and you now have a call booked to reveal all 7 areas. We can go over all of their questions, and we can make sure that we present the rest of the details. Again, it reminds them that it's just over $760,000 in estimated savings. It then moves into the agreement. The agreement is very simple. As Jason mentioned earlier, it's a 1-page agreement, and you're looking at it right now. It reminds them that we are completing our analysis at no cost to them. If there is no savings, there is no fee. It does list out the fee percentages, again, right there up front. It allows them the ability to sign right on the device. Enter their name, title, email, and you have a signed service agreement. You'll notice there's one for specialized tax incentives, and then we move forward and you'll see one again for expense reduction. Same thing, no cost if there is no savings. They'll sign, name, title, email, and you have your next signed service agreement. Last but certainly not least is the document page. And the document page allows you to collect all of the necessary and required documents to move forward. This means you don't have to chase down documents from the CEO, CFO, president. They're busy. They're on conference call after conference call. They have meeting after meeting. They're in out of lunch meetings, and they're back in the office on another conference call. This allows you to find out who's the best person to get the document from and go and collect it direct from them. So let's say property tax bill, that's Becky, their assistant. Letter of agency, Becky will make sure that's signed. Credit card statement, that's Dave over in accounting. You select for each of these documents, and you click this Done button. And it instantly is going to send a direct email to that contact, letting them know you just met with the person you just met with. Here are the required documents I need, and a secure link so they can upload them right into the system. And that's the software. It's very simple, very user-friendly, easy for you and easy for the business owner.
Excellent, Heather. Thank you. Let's jump in, guys, and take a look at a real case. And as you saw a moment ago, we're not going to ask you guys ever to be specialists in what we do. We're going to ask you guys to be specialists in telling the story and running the software. After that, you get to bring your staff in, your experts, your team to come in and be the specialists, be the experts to join you guys on these calls, these discovery calls that Heather just showed you how to book. And they're going to wrap it up for you. They're going to get you paid, and they're going to help you move it into the financial transactions that you guys are learning about. The financial transactions that you engage in every day. When I say learning about, you're going to learn about the SRP here in a moment and get super excited. They're the ones that are going to move it in on that first call and not only get you paid on everything that we do, but get you paid on everything that you do and put you in that position to sell more than ever before. So here's a real case. This is one of you guys, one of your own, that had been with us all of 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, a day or two past 2 weeks. And he had gone to the auto dealership to get the tires changed over on his car. And it was going to take a little bit of time, but not overnight, so he figured he'd kill the time by walking around in the showroom. And in doing so, he identified the very stuff that we had trained him on, the stuff to look for and the opportunities that exist. And so he asked the manager to come over and join him. And, of course, the manager hustled over there because generally when a manager is called for, it's a bad moment, and they want to interject right away before the rest of the customers hear anything negative. But he was thrilled to find out it wasn't anything negative. The advisor instead had pulled out his phone, the very app that you guys saw. You get to put on your phone. You get to put it on your tablet, on your computer, whatever the case may be. He pulled out his phone, and he started walking him through the presentation. The manager interrupted him for a moment, said, "Please wait here," ran upstairs, and this is the way the agent told the story on the Friday call I keep talking about, came back down with the business owner and asked the advisor to start over again. The advisor ran the client through PresPro, and this is how he got to start the relationship. But again, guys, I want to ask you, and I've kind of laid the groundwork throughout this call, I want to ask you, how hard do you think it is to start a relationship by handing somebody $413,000? Now, a cost-sake study, I don't expect you guys to know what a cost-sake study is. After the first call, you're going to have a feel for it. You're going to know how high level, how it fits in. But this is a time value of money product. This is a reinvestable asset product. This is a financial product, just like you guys are used to selling. And it's going to put the money in their pocket, and then they're going to ask you, what do I do with it? And you're going to sell them an annuity. You're going to sell them a life insurance product. You're going to show them what to do with it. But again, how much easier is it to start the relationship by giving them $413,000 as opposed to knock, knock, knock at the door, please talk to me about retirement planning, and after 99 out of 100 no's, you get one yes, and you're still trying to sell them the same thing they can buy online or that they've heard of 10 million times and they don't want to be bothered with. They do want to be bothered with, hey, I can give you $413,000. You want to find out how? And oh, by the way, the agent made $6,200 for the right to start the relationship with a business owner that wanted to work with him by handing him $413,000. Then the merchant audit. Guys, notice it says audit. We are not merchant processors. We are not vendors. We don't work with vendors. We audit them. We find the overcharges that occur virtually 100% of the time. We put the money back in their pocket. If we don't find the money, we don't get paid. But guys, we've never not found the money. So we put another $37,000 in his pocket, and you made another $5,500 to do it. Corporate loan, they had borrowed money for the last renovation on their facility, but they were paying a high interest rate. We were able to come back and reduce their interest rate and save them thousands of dollars a month, and they were thrilled. Another $21,000 to you. And then SRP. SRP is an acronym for Stride Retirement Program. It's a proprietary program that you as an insurance agent get to sell. You do not need a securities license. But it gives the business owner the opportunity to get a tax deduction in the front end, to get tax-deferred growth, and get a tax-free distribution retirement. It's like nothing else. The average compensation to you guys on the average deal after 18 years of this program's existence is $162,000 per case. And again, all you need is an insurance license, and I know every one of you have one of those. $312,000 in commission. Guys, one thing I want to point out here, this is not a big case. You're going to join us on the mastermind calls. You're going to hear about big cases every single week. You're going to hear guys talk about how they made $500,000 in commission just on the SRP, or $1 million, or $1.5 million, or the big one earlier this year, $3.8 million on one case just on the SRP. But they only got the SRP because all the other tools got them through the door and built that relationship. And now, here's one of the best parts. As you're working with that client, as you're building that relationship, there's tax components to so much of what we do, and we are with you interfacing with that tax planner. And you know what? Now you finally have tax planners wanting to work with you too and feeding you business, just like you see on the bottom part of the slide, where they're opening their doors and telling their clients to work with you. And I know you guys have heard those stories a million times. Again, join us on our mastermind call and hear it from your peers. Guys, that's everything. We promised to get you off here quickly. We're getting you off right now. Thank you very much. We're excited to work with you. You're going to get the opportunity to use this program. Again, we want you on our next Friday call. Make sure you're there so you can hear from your peers. You can see how this thing works. You can hear their stories and see different ways to work with our program. You're going to get all of this, the opportunity to work with our program. You're going to get national account managers. This is your staff that attend your calls with you. These are your closing teams, the folks that are working with you to do the discovery calls to make sure you get paid and move it right into your financial services. You're going to get the software that we showed you, the portal, which is a CRM on steroids. It does so much more than a CRM does. It updates your clients in tenths of a second. It gives you real-time feeds and everything that's happening as it's happening. It's an incredible system. And you get the hub. The hub is the system where you go on, you can pull down all your documents and marketing material, various things, training, all sorts of stuff. And again, a customized website for you guys. It's $99 a month, or look at it this way, it's the cost of a dinner. So you can go to dinner and burn up $99, or you can contribute $99 to your career, which is the smallest investment you're ever going to make, for the opportunity to join us on our Friday call and tell your $1 million story. Guys, we really look forward to working with you. Can't wait to have you here. And you're going to see here in a moment the link you need to come work with Stride and allow us to work with you and to create the life, the opportunity, the career you've always wanted, and to sell more than ever before. Thank you all very much. Goodbye.